The following podcast is for mature listeners. Although looked at in a light-hearted manner, some content may be graphic and gruesome. Also, due to the host's complete lack of maturity, those easily offended will probably be offended. Hold on to your butts.
In that case, I guess...
Hello there. Hi.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. How art thou this fine day?
You're putting me on the spot. I don't know what to say.
I'm not good with this type of thing. Diversion.
It feels like a first date. Okay, look, so here's what we're doing. As you people probably know, because it's in the title of the podcast that you just clicked to listen to, we are not doing a single topic for this episode. We're going to go over the worst possible ways to die.
The grossest and most graphic ways to die. It is the kitty's titties.
That's not one of the ways, though.
No, not.
No one's ever died from kitty titties.
You never know.
Somebody out there probably.
But it's not on this list.
No. So this list that we have, this is based on a book called "And Then You're Dead," and the book was written by an author named Cody Cassidy and a scientist named Paul Doherty. So if you want to, I'm sure there's probably more information than what we're going to give you in these books. So if you want to deep dive, check out "And Then You're Dead" by Cody Cassidy and Paul Doherty.
Yeah.
Now that's out of the way, let's talk about the shitty ways to die. And then maybe at the end we can kind of pick what we think was the shittiest or...
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I think that's a very solid idea, and we can kind of elaborate.
Okay. And then maybe we can offer up some other... If you have any other ideas, like other ways that you think would be fucking terrible. I know one, but I'm going to save that for a little bit. Let's just get right into it. So
yeah,
Let's talk about what would happen, Jake, if you were in an elevator and the cable snapped.
Okay. First thought when I was reading through this was, how do I not shit myself immediately? Like, go into total, full, bow, emergency evac.
Yeah, well, it would be very scary. I don't know how long it typically takes you to get a nice dookie out.
Dookie,
I guess it's gonna depend how many floors you're going as to how quality.
Upon reading this, I was just kind of like, and that you just mentioned it. Like, it all depends on how high up you are. Like, right. If you're 5-story, like if you're on the 5th floor, I personally think that you will be okay if you're just standing up. You know,
from 5 stories?
5 stories. I could be wrong. You might break both your ankles, but I feel like you're not going to die.
Right, you could probably survive. So 5 stories, I think a story is roughly 10 feet.
10
so
feet,
50
yeah.
feet.
Yeah, 50 feet, but you're in a box.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're not going to die. But like, I feel like once you hit that 10th floor, 20th floor, even,
Oh, you're done.
It's a wrap.
You're done. And it's funny you should say that the first thing you would do is shit yourself, because let me tell you what, Jake, whether you shit yourself or don't shit yourself, that shit's not going to be in your body once you hit the ground.
No, because it's going to be like the human gusher effect. So like, if you were sick to your stomach, guess what, buddy? It's coming out.
Yeah, because, and this is why, the elevator's falling, right? It's going to hit its max speed, and you're going to be going that max
ramming speed. Yes.
When the elevator finally makes impact on the ground floor, the outside of your body is going to stop.
Yeah, but not the inside, though.
Your organs are going to continue to move downward, and they are going to rip from your body. Your bones are going to break.
Yep.
They're going to shatter. And the most terrifying thing is, this article says that typically, if you're still conscious, your head is so far away from your feet that for a split second, you'll be able to look down and see all your organs leave your body before your head hits the ground and you...
Oh, man, that's so gross.
Yeah, it's not great.
Well,
it's not great.
So what they say, I guess what they would recommend, one would say, is that they say if you know that you're going down, they tell you to lay down on your back.
Yes. The theory behind this is that it is spreading out your mass.
Yes.
And therefore lowering...
Get the mass to the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Put your mass on the floor, and that is... But, listen, even this is only going to it's only going to work maybe in that 5-story safety zone. Like, this is 50 feet here. If you lay completely flat, maybe you're going to be okay. It's a big maybe.
Yeah, there's a small window that you could walk away and be like, oh, I just have like acute, cuts and bruises, broken bones. But like once you hit that 100 feet, 200 feet in the air, you might as well just bend over and kiss your ass goodbye because it is a wrap for you. Yeah,
I feel like laying flat is the equivalent to sticking your head between your knees when a plane's crashing. Like, it's something to take your mind off of things for a little while.
Yeah, let me throw the oxygen mask on, so I'm kind of like in a lucid state for a second. But
right, so you know me, I'm an avid MythBusters fan, and MythBusters actually did this on an episode whether laying flat was going to prevent damage as opposed to standing up straight in an elevator.
And
it does.
Did the guy have his little beret on while they're doing this episode?
What kind of question is that? Of course he did.
Yeah. Fancy bastard.
So the theory is correct. It actually does do less damage. The real saving grace is if you're in an elevator that the cable snaps and you begin to plummet to the ground. The real saving grace is that elevators, the way they are designed, the higher you are, the better your chances of surviving the elevator crash. And you may say, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It makes zero sense, yeah.
The reason is that most of these elevator shafts are pretty much airtight. What happens is this elevator shaft is airtight. As you're falling, a cushion of air builds up beneath the car.
So you're saying some sort of elevator-type queef builds up pressure.
Will protect you.
Will protect me. Saved by a queef.
And it wouldn't be the first time, would it?
Wouldn't be the first time. Probably won't be the last.
So yeah, the elevator queef would save your life. If you're laying down, that is going to help you. There's also like a ton of other... Like the chances of you dying in an elevator... are actually... there's a better chance of the elevator shooting upwards and you being crushed as you're walking through the door.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, man, no thanks.
Then it plummeting to the ground and you dying that way. So, if you're worried, if you're scared of elevators, once you're in, that's the safe zone. The part you want to worry about is getting through that door as fast as possible. Because if that elevator shoots upwards and you're only halfway through the door... you're gonna have some real problems.
It's like human accordion style at that point.
Yeah, you're gonna be all mashed up.
I feel like at some point in my life, I've seen a movie where there was a guy walking through an elevator. It might have been like a B-rated horror film, and the guy was walking through the door, and the door shut really fast, and it like cut him in half vertically.
Well,
but I mean,
hold on, wait. You're saying that just the door shutting cut him in half, or the door shut, he got stuck, and then the elevator moved?
Just the door shut, and it cut him. It was almost like a razor blade style door.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what material they use to make elevator doors, but
I'm assuming it's some sort of steel. That's what I'm going to
I don't think...
like I said, I might have seen it in a movie. I saw it in a movie.
Yeah. Well, there's actually, I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago, what I said actually happened in New York at a hotel. A woman was in the elevator. Another woman came running up. You know, she asked her to hold the elevator. She holds the elevator, and as the woman's walking in, it shoots upward. There's a malfunction where it shoots up, and half of the woman went for the ride, and the other half stayed on the ground floor. So,
fuck, dude. Could you imagine, like, that shutting
being in the elevator
and looking at this woman, like you just see like her like reaching up, and you see like this lifeless body or lifeless torso with its eyes sticking out and its blood coming out of its mouth, and you're just like,
I don't know who that's worse for. Well, I mean, I do know who it's worse for.
Obviously, because the woman's dead, but then it's like that the other person has to live with that. I would just be like, yo, let me go rip a selfie with this thing real quick and be like, yo, what's up, bitches? And like,
World Star.
Yeah, put that on Twitter real quick.
It would get taken down probably. Wait, does Twitter have like a code of conduct policy?
They might. I don't know. But I mean, it's 2019, man. People are desensitized to everything. So it's like, yo, it's a torso. Selfie.
That's true. I see dead bodies just driving to work most of the time. You know what I mean? They're everywhere.
Exactly.
It's like the zombie apocalypse.
It's like a they live.
Well, you
scenario.
must really. I mean, I think at least 1.5 people gets murdered a week on your block.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that it was in New York. I was in New York a week and a half ago, and I was kind of like, ugh. I was on like the 22nd floor of a hotel, and I was just like, that's terrifying, because I remember like getting in the elevator and it just literally shoots you up. It's like, it's insane how fast they move. Coming down, however, it's just kind of like taking its sweet old time bringing you down.
That's that queef slowing you down.
It's that queef cushion, man. That nice air pocket that just built up and it just fires off and shoots your ass back up when it's time to go.
Yeah.
Thank God for the elevator shaft queef.
There's nothing like it. So that's falling in an elevator to your death. Not great. The chances of it happening, very slim. The next one I want to talk about, the chances of it happening now are pretty much zero. I had never even heard of this until I read this article. Jake, I want to talk to you about scaphism?
Scaphism?
Scaphism, maybe? Scaphism?
I was like, scaffolding? No. I read this and immediately thought of like great. Yeah. First and foremost, secondly, I was like, this sounds like something out of like the Green Inferno, but that was more of like a cannibalism movie. And this is pretty fucking raw shit, man, to be honest. Like,
Okay, so scaphism or scaphism, it's also referred to as simply the boats. Okay.
The boats.
It was a Persian execution method.
Oh, this is Persian.
This is Persian, like the rugs.
Like a rug.
It could be done with a hollow log, but most commonly, it was 2 boats. Yes. Okay. I looked further into this because the article kind of had like a sketchy description as to how it works. So this is the traditional way to scapicize somebody. Whatever. They would take 2 boats, right?
Yeah.
They would lay the criminal or the accused in the bottom boat, right? The bottom boat would have holes cut out for the arms, the legs, the hands, the feet, and the head.
So basically, just the torso is submerged.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they would put another boat identical to it upside down on top. So essentially, you're in like a coffin made out of 2 boats, but your head, hands, and feet are sticking out.
Yeah.
And then they would offer you.
There's no offering.
They would offer you something to eat, right? They would offer you milk and honey to eat, and if you didn't want milk and honey, if you weren't feeling it that day,
tough.
They would prick your eyes with needles until you ate it. So it wasn't really an offering.
What do you mean, prick your eyes with needles? That's fucking awful.
Let's say that I was going to scapicize you. And
scaffoldize me.
Let's say I was going to scat all over you.
Coincidentally enough.
I came up and I said, listen, Jake, unfortunately, I am aware that you're a Persian witch, and we are going to have to do away with you. So I'm going to give you some milk and honey.
I'm like, oh, what a delightful treat that you're feeding me. But I'm lactose intolerant. Tough.
Yeah. And I know and I know what you're up to, so I'm not going to eat your milk and honey. Then I would say, well, I'm going to stick this needle in your eye if you don't eat the milk and honey. To which you would most likely say, all right, I think I'll eat the milk and honey.
Yeah. It feels like a less painful alternative for the time being.
Yeah. Until you realize that I'm going to continue to feed you milk and honey until you're just about to burst. Like that scene from Seven.
Yes. Glutton.
Yeah. Then, when you're at your peak, at your apex of milk and honey.
Your breaking point, essentially.
I am going to pour the remainder of my milk and honey all over your face, all over them titties.
Damn,
all over
not my kitty titties.
All over your tummy, and then all over.
It sounds so dirty when you say tummy.
I'm gonna put honey on your tummy. I'm gonna put honey all over them Jake genitals.
Damn, is this like a shouldn't this be called like Winnie the Poohing or something like that?
If you hadn't seen somebody deal with scaphism in the past, or you weren't aware of what it is, you may be like, all right, I like where this is heading.
This is getting sexy.
But then instead of the sex stuff, they put the boat back over top of you. Now you're covered in honey, you're covered in milk, you're full of honey and milk. They make sure that your face is always in the sun. So this honey is just baking on your face.
Oh man!
And
I would ask for death.
Well, you're getting it. Why don't you tell the people what happens when you're outside in the sun and you're covered in honey?
You fucking attract every single insect ever.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
a lot of flies.
Flies, like gnats, all the nasty, disgusting bugs. Like, because here's the thing: you're in a body of water.
Yes,
they make sure that your torso's submerged in a body of water, but your arms and legs and your head are outside of the water, covered in this delicious honey that they've decided to feed you.
So that's another thing. Your torso is in the water.
Yes, underneath of the water.
But it's like up to your ribs, so your stomach's still exposed, your genitals are exposed, the top of your torso is exposed. It's covered in honey.
I feel self-conscious for the mental image of me being scaphicized, because I'm just kind of like, yo, man, why my tummy and my dick and balls got to be out? Why can't I just have some drawers on?
And they're sticky,
sticky. Yeah.
So the flies come, they cover the face and the body, and then the flies go, hey, this guy's fucking delicious. This is probably a good place to lay our eggs. And they lay eggs inside the person. And then the eggs hatch. And when eggs hatch, fly eggs, they become, I don't know if you know this, but they become little worm-like creatures.
Like maggots, yeah.
They're maggots, that's what it is. It's a maggot. And the maggots are hungry.
For human flesh
that's covered in honey and milk.
Yeah.
So, while you're laying alive between these two boats, covered in honey, you're sticky, your face is sunburnt, you look like a fucking golden gram. These bugs.
Here's the worst part of it all. Like, I know like what you're saying is awful. Like these bugs are eating the honey in your skin, and they're burrowing their way into you and laying eggs. Not to mention the fact you are shitting yourself. Like you're shitting all over yourself because you're stuffed with milk and honey. Guess what milk and honey makes you do? Shit yourself uncontrollably. You're like an upset goose just spraying butt butter all over the goddamn place. And guess what flies and bugs love? Human excrement.
Now you know how foie gras feels, motherfucker.
Dude, that's gross. I mean, it's just you're stuck in this boat of death, covered in this delicious late night snack, and all these bugs are eating
late night snack.
Well, yeah, who doesn't love honey and milk? You know, sometimes I have a glass of milk before bed. It helps me go to sleep. Back off.
Yeah, so you put honey all over that tummy.
Rubbed all over my tummy. All up, there's like bugs up in my belly button hole. It's disgusting.
It's gross. So eventually, when you finally die, they remove the top boat and they check out the damage. And most of the time when they do this, they find that the bugs have eaten away most of the flesh on the torso, most of the internal organs, and most of the stomach lining. So it's not a great experience, and there are reports of people taking 17 days to die this way.
Fuck, man, that is absolutely awful. I'm talking like 2 hours in. 2 hours in, I'm like, can someone slit my throat? Can someone blow me? Because I wouldn't be able to take it.
Yeah, I'd be trying to stick my head back into the water.
Yeah, but just let me just drown myself, because that is like, they're talking about people dying of dehydration, starvation, exhaustion, like septic shock. It's just like, because your own like, you're essentially, yourself is poisoned because of these bugs burrowing into you and laying eggs inside of you. I'm like, I want to throw up just thinking about it.
And you have to live with that. Not like, all right, listen, nowadays, if you commit a crime and you're sentenced to this, like, death or whatever, there's always that chance in the back of your mind, like, maybe I'll escape, maybe I'll get out of this.
There's no
But
escape.
A couple days into this, you're like, even if I escape, I am filled with bugs.
Yeah, like, what
and
quality?
Honey.
So,
You're like that girl from Hostel that got her fucking face blowtorched off.
Oh,
it's like,
dude, I just remember,
even though you escaped, you're done.
I remember, like,
Game
that
over.
her face was blowtorched and her eye was hanging out, and, like, the eye popped and it was like a sunny side up egg, and I was like, ah! So, side note, there is a movie.
Dip some toast in it.
Real dippy like. There's a movie called Bite, which is essentially a horror film about, like, a girl goes, like, the Amazon and has, like, a bug, like, bite her in the water, and then it, like, lays eggs inside of her, and, like, her whole body becomes covered in, like, eggs, eggs. And then she essentially, like, it like, transforms her, essentially, into, like, this giant humanoid bug thing, and it's where, like, she has all these eggs and stuff falling out of her, and she's, like, eating human people to, like, stay alive. It's pretty gross. But that was, like, one of the first things I thought of.
Bugs are gross. Bugs are nasty as a motherfucker.
Yo,
nasty as a motherfucker.
Nasty as a motherfucker. Like, if they just wanted to, like, go do their own thing and, like, not fuck with me, I'd be like, yo, Bugs, we cool, man, chill. They'd be like, why you gotta be they always trying to fuck with somebody.
Around, though.
They always line stepping. They always stepping over that line to piss me the fuck off.
Bugs are like the parasites of the world. You know what I mean?
Literally, Paul, that's what they are. They're parasites.
Right. Yeah. Okay, good point. Fair point. All right, so
that's
scaphism.
That's
probably
scapholization. There it is.
That's probably the front runner at this point. I mean,
that's the worst.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it this way, Jake. Here's how we can figure it out. If you had the option, would you rather die in a falling elevator or be scaphised?
I preferably, I'd rather die in an elevator because I think it would be a lot less painful than being scapholized.
You know, that's what I thought you were going to say. I had a hunch. I agree with you. So at this point, scaphism is leading the
pack,
the
herd,
the list of things.
All
right, next, getting caught in a neutron star.
So this is a fucking nerd one. This is total nerd.
Yeah, this probably isn't going to
death.
happen to you unless you fuck around with Elon Musk and you go up in a spaceship. Then maybe. I don't know how close they're going to get to the neutron. The neutron stars. And this was pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to this. If you get too close to a neutron star, you're fucked.
Oh, royally.
Yeah. The first thing that's going to happen to you is you are going to be sucked into the star, at which point you will enter a never-ending free fall.
Which you would think sounds kind of cool, but not.
Yeah, and, well, the problem is you're not really going to get to enjoy it very long, because once that free fall begins, what also begins is a continuous increase in gravitational pull that it's going to turn all of your atoms into long cigar shapes, and then you're going to turn into plasma.
Are you telling me that all of the atoms in my body are going to turn into dick-shaped like things?
Uh-huh. And then you're going to turn into plasma, and then you're in early 2000s TV.
I'm going to cease to exist.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. No, what's going to happen? You're not going to turn into a TV. That's silly. You are going to turn into radiation.
I would like to see that. I just don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be cool to see.
Shit, yeah. I would love to see somebody get sucked into a fucking neutron star.
Like, that'd be cool to see. Like, damn, my man went from a solid to a liquid. Like, all of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Who do we want to get turned into a fucking plasma? Who, if you could have anybody in the world get sucked into a neutron star, who's your fucking number one draft pick?
I mean, I'm sorry if this offends people, but I would very much enjoy it if our president would be sucked into a neutron star.
Whoa!
Yeah, I am not.
Listen, you're gonna have us on some kind of fucking watch list if you're not careful.
Whoa, hey, I'm just saying, man.
You can't make those kinds of threats to the president.
I'm not making any types of threats.
You can't say you're gonna fucking put the president in a neutron star.
I am holding him hostage with a neutron star. No.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Me and my mole people are gonna hold him captive. No, I don't know. I don't really hate people.
That's
like
a good guess, I guess. You don't hate anybody.
I don't really hate. I strongly dislike people. I just strongly dislike people that don't move in an intersection. I strongly dislike people that beep at me when I'm at a red light.
Like, not only don't move, but slow accelerators.
Oh, God,
the light's
the
fucking
worst.
red, and then it turns green, and they go immediately, but they fucking go at their pace.
Yeah. Like, don't you know I'm late to go be somewhere?
Man, listen, I'm gonna have a tough time choosing if I could throw somebody into a neutron star. I mean, there's so many fucking people that I would just
like you really have you sat down and thought about, like, you know what? I'd throw that Jamie Foxx into a goddamn neutron star.
Jamie Foxx, that was a weird word to say.
I mean, he's a real person.
I wish I had like a neutron star garbage disposal that I could just fucking throw people in all the time.
Yeah, let's throw that Lacey in there.
Who do I hate the most? She'd be gone. Kind of recent, TJ Dillashaw, the UFC fighter. He really gets on my fucking nerves. He'd be one. He'd get starred for sure.
Also get smoked in the first round.
Kanye West. Can't stand him. He drives me fucking crazy. Stupid shoes.
I love Kanye West only because he really made some solid albums before he lost his mind. But when he
still have the albums, I mean, we can fucking throw him into a star. And
you know what? That's a good point.
We're not.
That's a good point. All right, so we're not like erasing his memory. We're just getting rid of him in his current form, in his final douchebag form.
Erasing his memory. What do you think? This is some kind of fucking fantasy game? We can't do the fucking impossible. I'm just talking about throwing him into a neutron star.
Oh, we're not eternal sunshining him. We're just throwing him into a star and watch him turn into a liquid Kanye.
Yeah, get real, dude.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna throw you into a fucking star. That's what I'm gonna throw you in a fucking neutron star, Jake.
Listen here, dude.
Ridiculous.
I'm gonna catch you at the Dallas Sportatorium. The loser goes into a neutron star, dude.
All right, look, listen. It's been a great episode, Jake. That's the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Instagram and stuff. No, I forgive you. It's okay. All right, look, that's it. So don't get near neutron stars. What's next, Jake? Do you know?
We're taking a tumble. We're taking a small little tumble down the Marianas Trench, not to be confused with the really bad pop punk band Marianas Trench. Oh, that's a song. No, it's a band. Yeah.
Or marinara sauce.
Oh, actually, not a big fan. Not a big fan of the marinara.
It depends on what's being dipped.
Oh, I mean, we're talking about some fresh bread, baby girl.
Well, I was thinking. I was thinking like
a little spicy meatball.
Meatball works. I don't know what else do you dip in marinara sauce.
I don't know, some fucking pasta. I'm not Italian.
Cheese sticks.
Ooh, cheese dicks. I love those.
But we're not talking about it. That was the point of us saying that.
We're not talking about that.
We're talking about the deepest part of the ocean.
In the ocean. I'm talking, there's some serious sea creature type activity. If you like to read books, Nick Cutter wrote a book called The Deep. It's about the Marianas Trench. It's a really solid book. Highly recommend it.
If you like to read books, you can't do that shit. If you fall down the Mariana Trench, so that's off the list.
Yep.
You're out there. That's number one thing that's going to happen to you. No books.
There's a lot of awful shit that's going to happen to you if you get down there.
Well, probably the worst thing is your body is going to collapse inward.
Yeah, because of the pressure.
And it's going to force all the air out of your body, and you're going to sink like a fucking lead balloon. Wait, like a rock. Do lead balloons sink? Would a lead balloon sink?
Well, I mean, if it's made out of lead, I would assume so.
What if there's air in it still?
I think it's still going to sink, bud. Someone send us an email about that.
Yeah, that's funny because that saying, sink like a lead balloon, I mean, that refers to like falling out of the air, I guess. But would it sink in water? Scientists, physicists.
Lend me your
we know you listen.
Thoughts.
We know you listen for, tips on your hypotheses, so just let us know what you think.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna collapse inward. You're gonna drown first. That's you're not. Well,
first and
it's
foremost,
very deep. It's very deep.
Yeah. If you manage to get down there using some sort of high-tech submarine or water traveling device,
some sort of James Cameron apparatus.
Yeah, apparati.
Yep.
But if you were to get out of that vehicle and then try to delve down into that hole, then your body would crush due to the pressure. They're talking like your nasal cavity, throat, chest would all collapse inward until you're just one prolapsed anus, and then it's a wrap for you.
Yeah, and then you would sink all the way to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, where we're not sure exactly what's down there, but people believe that it's just like weird water plants that feed on like whale bones and stuff.
A bone-eating snot flower is what.
That's how. Yes, right. That's how the scientists described it.
Snot flower. What a delicious image to depict in my mind.
Have you ever had a snot flower?
I have not had a snot flower, but I immediately...
You have to get them when they're in season.
Well, they're probably market price. They're really out of my price range.
All right, speaking of falling down things, what would happen, Jake, if you were to fall down a hole that led to the center of the Earth?
Well, immediately I feel like I would probably die of a heart attack just because I'm terrified of heights and free falling.
Wait a second. It's not a height, though. It's a depth.
Yeah.
Are you scared of depths?
I'm part of the depths, baby girl, so no, I ain't
scared. Don't be scared of the depths. Hit us up on Instagram and stuff.
But I feel like since like if you were to like take a step off of a ledge, looking down into this long hole, especially if like it's not lit, if it's not lit, like oh shit, fam, it's lit, but like
it's not gonna be.
But more like if there's no lights. Like
all
if
right,
I
Colin's
can't,
key.
Yeah, if I can't see anything, then I'm like doubly petrified, and I feel like my anxiety coupled
You're
with
scared of heights and the dark.
I'm not scared of the dark. I ain't no bitch.
Well.
I'm just I'm just scared of heights.
Yeah,
because I'm with you. I'm a big dude, and big dudes aren't meant to be that high up in the air.
Ooh, big dudes fall fast.
Big dudes fall hard, yeah.
An interesting thing about falling to the center of the Earth is, first, the core of the Earth, the center of the Earth, is actually hotter than the surface of the sun. So,
which I would have thought. I mean, that's crazy to me to think about.
That is crazy. You would be essentially boiled to death in virtual liquid oxygen. So that would be what would happen before you even got to the center of the Earth. You'd pretty much be evaporated by the heat.
So, not to cut you off, but wouldn't you essentially cook yourself? You'd be like some sort of like human lobster because you would cook yourself in your own blood, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. It wouldn't be good. Lobsters don't have blood, though. I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying, like, because of the boiling aspect of it, you would essentially be boiling yourself with the oxygen.
You'd boil your blood.
That's in your blood.
You'd boil your blood like Whitney Houston did.
Oh.
Did you know that?
She boiled her blood? I thought that was just heroin.
Yeah, no, so Whitney Houston allegedly when they found her, it got reported as a drug overdose, and kind of it was. But what I heard, I got the inside source here.
Who is this, Bobby Brown? Bobby Brown tell you this?
Yeah, my boy Bobby. So what happened to Whitney Houston is she did a bunch of drugs, and then got into a hot tub, and she couldn't tell because her body was so fucked up with all these drugs. She couldn't tell how hot the water was, and she essentially boiled herself to death.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that is rather disgusting.
Yeah, that's not on our list, boiling yourself to death, but it wouldn't be a great way to go. Maybe it should be on the list.
Let's do a shit ton of drugs, and then just boil yourself in a hot tub.
That's probably one of the best ways to go. It's just do a shit ton of drugs and fall asleep and never wake up. I would imagine, right? Like,
I mean,
comparably, like compared to the stuff we're talking about, comparatively, that's probably one of the better ways to go.
Because to be honest, like, could you imagine what that last dream's like? That shit's probably
wild.
Wild, yeah.
Lucid. Well, here's the good news, Jake. If you were to fall into a hole that led to the center of the Earth, you wouldn't get to boil alive because you would be crushed to death by the atmosphere before you even got that far. So, if you fall into a hole that goes to the center of the Earth, the air pressure would double every 15,000 feet, right? I did a little bit of math.
Yeah, say, because I'm about to ask a stupid question, but go ahead.
Okay, so to the center of the Earth, it would be 2 million miles.
Shit.
No, sorry. It would be 20 million miles to the center of the Earth. No, 20 million feet.
Whoa.
Man, I really fucked this up.
Yeah,
it's
you did.
20 million feet to the middle of the Earth.
20 million miles. It's like we have our own galaxy here.
Yeah. You didn't realize the Earth was that big. It would be 20 million feet, which means the atmosphere would be doubled 13,000 times. So, if you take 2 to the 13,000th power, which is the math that would get you how pressurized the atmosphere would be. I shit you not, I put that into a calculator, and the calculator said
1333.
infinity.
Wow. So, you can imagine, the atmosphere, the air density, you're saying, is going to double every 15,000 feet.
Which means the air is going to double 13,000 times.
Yeah, that is unreal.
Yeah, so you're going to be crushed. Worse than the Mariana Trench.
Like, are you going to look like... I just picture, like, someone getting crushed into literally just, like, a cube. Like a trash compactor. And then...
Yeah, you're going to look like fucking Wall-E from the movie Wall-E.
Wall-E. But then you're, like...
Wait, what? What was that noise?
I don't know. And then you're, like...
Do it again?
I didn't do it. It was something that happened.
Okay.
And then you're cooking in your own...
It was an elevator queef.
It was an elevator queef. You're cooking in your own body while getting crushed to death.
Yep.
So
you're probably going, like, for a little bit, you're probably like, wee.
No,
and then,
I would have already been dead. I would have already been dead because my heart would have given out.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It's on the verge of that at all times anyway.
I'm going to say, fuck off.
What?
I'm not dying anytime soon, damn it.
I hope not.
I got to say that's a solid number 2. Like, I got to deal with scaffoldization and then falling through the center of the Earth. I feel like that's a solid backup. Yeah,
okay. So, I mean, scaphism, the other ones we talked about, getting caught in a neutron star, I mean, that would suck, but it's never going to happen. Like, that's so unrealistic that you almost don't even think about it. The Mariana Trench, I would rather do that. That's a lot quicker, a lot easier than being scaphicized. Hole to the center of the Earth, same deal. Like,
but I feel
you're going to be on a wild ride. It's going to suck eventually.
I feel like there's some more intangibles that go along with falling to the hole to the center of the Earth because I feel like...
Yeah, and you can't in good conscience put falling in an elevator above falling to the center of the Earth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm with you there. I think falling to the center of the Earth
I'm not going to lie. I would not be a big fan of seeing my innards leave my body before I die.
That wouldn't be good.
But, I mean...
That wouldn't be good.
I also wouldn't want to cook inside my own body and then be crushed to death while that's happening.
Right. That would suck. Okay, moving right along now. Jake, what do you think would happen if you were to stick your head in a particle accelerator?
Well, besides never getting laid because I'm a fucking nerd, whoever put this on the list, I'm assuming there would be a high dosage of radiation poisoning.
Are you assuming that because you read it in this article?
I read it in the article, yes, I did.
Okay. Let's talk.
Joke's on you, reader.
Let's talk a little bit about particle accelerators for the non-nerds out there who don't know what it may be. Let me explain what particle...
The normal people that listen to this? Yes.
Right. So, a particle accelerator, Jake, is a tool, a machine that allows scientists to study the subatomic particles by speeding them up in a magnetic field and slamming them into each other, and then seeing what happens.
It does not sound good, man.
You wouldn't be interested in that?
No, I just feel like
you wouldn't be interested in sticking your head in that.
No, I've seen enough superhero movies to know that like when you do something like that, nothing good comes of it.
No, you definitely. If you do live, it seems like you'd instantly become some sort of villain.
I am the mashed potato boy. My tummy is made out of mashed potatoes.
When it comes to particle accelerators, the granddaddy of them all is known as the Large Hadron Collider. Have you heard of this?
I had not prior to reading this article. I had not known about it. No.
Okay, so the Large Hadron Controller is the biggest particle accelerator in the world. It's controlled by CERN. CERN stands for European Operations for Nuclear Research. I don't know how they came up with
we don't ask
the letters on that.
We don't ask. We're
just going with it. And it is not only the world's largest particle accelerator, it's the world's largest machine. It is a 328-foot loop that is underground on the border of Sweden and France. The Large Hadron Collider hurls beams of protons and ions at nearly the speed of light. Its use is... Well, it's used in hopes of solving universal mysteries such as how black holes are made, as well as the properties of the Higgs boson particle. Do you know what the Higgs boson particle is, Jake?
Man, do you think I know what the fuck that means?
Well, I mean, I thought everybody knows what the Higgs boson particle is.
No one knows.
The Higgs boson particle is an elementary particle in the standard model of particle physics produced by quantum excitation of the Higgs field.
What? I don't even know what you just
common
said
knowledge,
to me.
right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what I just
knowledge,
said either.
yes.
The Higgs boson particle is also known as the God particle, and it's known that it's known as that because the guy who discovered it
was God.
Higgs called it the God particle. A lot of people don't like that name. Really, what it is, it was like this missing puzzle piece in quantum physics. Like, for a generation, it was this one particle that they couldn't find. They couldn't prove it existed. And when they finally found it, it like validated all the research that everyone had done for
What's the purpose
fucking
of the
100
particle?
years.
What does the particle do? Does it kill people?
The particle...
Does it kill
the
people?
Particle,
does it cure?
No.
Does it cure cancer?
It can.
Does it
maybe.
make
I don't know.
Make your penis bigger? Then who fucking cares about this goddamn particle?
This particle... So what the particle does is the particle provides mass to all other particles. So if the Higgs boson particle didn't exist, in theory, in physics theory, mass would not exist, which is a problem because mass does exist, and most theories in physics are based on mass. I sound really smart right now, but I Googled all this. I have no idea. If you asked me this yesterday,
you're reading a bunch of words that both confuse and frustrate me.
Anyway, I just wanted to give a little background on what particle accelerators were and like the intent.
Well, guess what?
Basically,
Paul,
what you need to take from this.
I hate particle accelerators because you talked about it for 5 minutes and it made me pissed off because I don't understand it.
What you need to take from this is that particle accelerators, the Large Hadron Collider in particular, shoot particles at the speed of light. The real question we're getting at is what happens if you stick your head in that? Right?
Yeah, all right, so reading the article, some fucking stooge got hit with the particle.
Antony Bugorski, a Russian scientist, was hit in the head when he stuck his head in a particle accelerator while doing repairs. He is the only person to ever get struck by a particle accelerator. He reports when it happened, he saw a flash of light, felt no pain at all, and then his entire head swelled up, and they had to rush him to a hospital.
Because his brain doubled in size, and now he's a supervillain.
Essentially, yeah, what happened was this particle shot through his head, through his brain, and scarred his brain. He was rushed to the hospital. Half of his face was swollen up. He was exposed to almost 100 times more than the agreed on lethal dose of radiation. But he lived. He's still alive. Half his face is paralyzed.
Still alive to this day.
Yeah, he's still alive. Half his face is paralyzed. He's got a little Jim Ross thing going on. He is reported to be deaf in one ear, and he has suffered since the accident at least 6 generalized tonic-clonic seizures. A tonic-clonic seizure, I also Googled this.
Tonic-clonic, isn't that like a drink?
It could be. That's a hell of a name for a drink. It's the seizure that you see like in a movie when someone has a seizure. It's it's kind of like drop to the ground, convulsing and drooling, so like the scary seizure.
A grand mal seizure where
that's what it's. Yeah, that's what it's known as. The tonic-clonic seizure is also known as what you just said.
Grand mal. Yeah, those things are no joke. I've seen those firsthand.
This guy's had 6 of them. At least 6 of them.
At least
6 that he's reported.
With little Bell's palsy, little face saggage, and he's deaf.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this is the worst. This is the stupidest way to die ever. And if you actually get shot with a particle accelerator, you deserve it because you're a fucking moron.
You have to be a moron. Yep. Bugorski is now epileptic. His brain has been permanently scarred by the proton beam passing through it.
Did he gain any supernatural abilities?
No.
Can he fly? Is he just like
he was
like a cripple in the sky reading Rainbow?
No, I wish. I mean, that's what you would hope would happen, but it's a lot less interesting than that. Apparently, he was already kind of like superhuman as far as his intelligence. Anybody who gets near a particle accelerator typically is. I mean, if you're fucking with a particle accelerator, you've got to be a genius.
Be safe to say that this is more like a particle retarder than an accelerator.
If you are referring to the person getting hit with it as the particle, then that statement would make sense.
All right, then, great.
Okay,
let's move on. Let's move on because I don't feel like anybody on their right mind wants to listen to this part of the show anymore.
I think you'd be surprised. But okay, well, let's get back to the fucking question. What's gonna happen if you stick your head in it? Is it possible to survive this? Yes, clearly it's possible to survive this.
But it just sounds like it's gonna suck a whole lot afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, consider the only person that's ever done it is alive. But is it likely? It is not likely. If you stick your head in a particle accelerator, most likely you'll be killed on impact. And if you're not, the radiation should kill you.
Yes,
Bogorski was very, very lucky. Also, in most particle accelerators, the chances that you wouldn't just be hit once. You'd probably be hit like 3, 4, maybe 5 times before you could even fucking fall over dead because the next particle is going to come and hit you faster than you can blink your eye.
Yep.
Also, so as bad as it sounded like for that fucking Russian guy, let's just make a note that the accelerator that struck him in his fucking dome was over 100 times less powerful than the Large Hadron Collider. So definitely don't stick your head in that.
Well, I think I should because then maybe I would gain some sort of supernatural ability. I obviously the moral.
Let's see if we can get access to it.
I want to see if I get shot with a bunch of super cool particle accelerator things that I'll become mashed potato boy.
Yeah, mashed potato boy, and who would your sidekick be?
Gravy kid.
Who could I be? I knew you were gonna say that.
You'd be the gravy kid.
That's a little too on the nose.
I've obviously thought about this at night.
Let's pause the podcast. I mean, not pause. Let's just sit here.
Let's just sit here for a second
and think about Thanksgiving-related superhero names.
I could call you the Cranberry Kid.
Dull our audience even more than they've already been dulled.
The Cranberry Kid himself.
Fuck yeah, the Cranberry Kid.
That's right. That's you.
That's it. You got it. You nailed it. That's the one.
All right, let's move on. Let's keep it moving here.
Keep it moving. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do one more, and then we are actually going to we're gonna save the rest of this for the next episode. So this is gonna be the first two-parter of the depths.
Yeah.
So the last one, Jake. Let's end it with a fucking bang. We talked about the God particle. How about the
motherfucker
crucifixion? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it to myself. Yeah. Crucifixion. If you had asked me, I don't know, a week ago, the worst way to be executed, I probably would have said crucifixion. My mind has changed a little bit now.
Well, yeah.
But let's talk about crucifixion. I mean, Jesus,
this is pretty. I mean, you know,
got him.
This is pretty. This is pretty raw, man. Like, now my question is,
yeah,
I'm being crucified. Obviously, they're going to nail your hands and your feet to a giant wooden cross. Do I have to wear the crown of thorns, or can I get away with wearing something else?
You son of a bitch. Do you really think that if you, Jake, from fucking whatever
State Farm
goofy company you work at for, you really think they would put a crown on you?
I mean, they put it on Jesus. He didn't really do much. Sorry if I offended anybody.
Listen, that's not part of the fucking thing, though. They did that as a mockery. They just wanted to jab him a little bit.
They know, just like I know.
Yeah.
He's just merely a man.
Whoa!
Just a man.
I don't like that you're fucking attacking my faith right now.
You don't even have a faith. If I were to tell you that the Cranberry Kid was a religious figure, you'd believe him more than you believed in Jesus Christ.
He's probably got a lot more integrity. Listen, Jesus was an amazing street magician, one of the first.
Yeah, and he taught all of his.
He was around
his teachings
today.
To David Blaine. He's probably David Blaine, and we don't know it.
If he was around today, I was going to say he'd probably have his own show on fucking Spike TV or something. But I don't think we should. I don't think we should go down this path with the podcast. Let's talk about just the crucifixion, not the fairy tale stuff. So once your body has lost the strength to hold itself up, right? You've been nailed to this cross. Your hands are nailed. Your feet are nailed.
You're getting cooked.
Eventually,
you're getting cooked in the elements as well, because you know, like if the sun's out and if it's hot, you're getting burned.
They only crucify people in hot places, I think. Like anytime you see it in the movies, it's always hot.
Yeah, you never get crucified and it's like San Diego where it's like 50 and kind of breezy out.
Right.
Like you're getting
what's going on?
It's like the middle.
Hey,
of
what's
August.
going on with the Padres game, man?
It's like the middle of
I had
August.
tickets, but
you're
then
sweating.
They stuck me up here.
You're getting stuck in the ribs with a spear of destiny. Like it's never good.
Nah, that was just Jesus again. We're getting back on Jesus.
Sorry.
So yeah, it's not good. You're gonna be hot, bothered. Eventually, your body's not gonna be able to hold itself up. You're gonna get sweepy because you're just hanging there, and all the weight of your body is going to rip your arms out of their sockets.
Oh.
And then it's going to put all the pressure on your chest, making it extremely hard for you to breathe. And eventually, the weight of your own body will suffocate you.
Yep. That's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
And it's also because...
Even worse, it's going to take a couple days.
Yeah, like you're spending some serious time up there just kind of like hanging out. Like your
thinking
body,
about what you did.
Thinking about, whatever crime you committed to deserve such a formal, fitting punishment, we'll say. But it's just kind of like... it's pretty fucking brutal.
It's not great. It's Not great at all. It is probably one of the worst. It's not the worst because at this point in our list, I'm still going with
escapism.
Getting eaten by bugs. Getting bit once by a bug. Getting a fucking mosquito bite is the worst.
That's a nagging injury that'll linger for 2 to 3 days. Now just imagine.
Injury.
Just imagine, yeah. Nagging injury.
You're on the fucking IR over here because you.
I'm on the 15-day DL. What happened? I got a piss mean mosquito bite on my elbow. It's driving me nuts.
I gotta wear these oven mitts so I don't scratch it.
I got calamine lotion all over my elbows.
Yeah, so look, that's it. That's part 1 of the worst, shittiest ways to die. I'm having a good time. It's brightening my spirits, right?
Oh, I feel thankful that none of these will ever happen to me.
Yeah, it makes you glad that you're still alive.
Yeah,
that's one thing.
I'm just glad that I will probably die knowing that none of these will ever befall me and that I will probably die in my sleep with a heart attack. So that's okay.
Like a fucking man.
Like a fucking man would. I'll probably have a giant mutton joint next to my on my bedside table, and I'll be covered in rib sauce, and I will totally embrace my maker at that point in time.
Jesus, your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
My Lord and Savior, Satin.
Mashed potato boy.
Mashed potato boy and the cranberry kid.
The rootinest, tootinest duo ever to see the Wild West.
Rootinest, tootinest. That's right.
All right, so that's it. I am Paul Breeden. This is Jake Lots of Letters. Jake, we're on Instagram.
We are on Instagram. We are at the Depths Cast on Instagram. Paul is at Breeden Nuclear. I am Jake Lots. We are on the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, and we have Zune soon to be coming to iPod Shuffle. Who knows?
Yep.
We also have an email. It's thedepthspodcast@gmail.com. Send us...
Napster.
Ooh, watch out. Maybe we'll be on LimeWire or FrostWire at some point in the future.
FrostWire.
Please feel free to send us an email about things that you don't like about dying, or things that you think would be awful. So until yeah,
Pure volume.
Yes. Love Pure Volume. Used to find the sludgiest of metal bands on Pure Volume.
That's it, man. That's what it was about. Listen, we love hearing from you. So even if you don't have anything to say, shoot us an email and just say hi. That would be awesome.
Yep.
That way we know people are listening and we can feel appreciated and a real sense of value. Because we're on the edge, man. I mean, it's dark times, right?
Yeah. Government shut down. Neutron stars are out there trying to suck people into them. I'm just out here trying to live without getting shot in the head with a particle accelerator. That's all.
Before we go, Jake, do you want me to do some more like science talk stuff?
I'd rather actually shove my head into a particle accelerator so I wouldn't have to
hear you. All right, well then that's it. This has been fun. Bye. I love you, Jake.